The three divine toys. As I was having a conversation with Felix Pinar on our show, we were discussing these divine toys. And he mentioned that as the name for leveraging these in terms of knowing our true nature. And so now we're going to create a stream walking through these different ways to unite with one's true nature. Think about them like different methods or different strategies or different lenses for you to be able to abide in the true nature. To move yourself more and more often away from the contracted person identity and closer upstream towards the very source of awareness and realities. The source of infinite creation. And knowing yourself as identity, constituted as that, rather than the person. Therefore, you begin serving the creation as a steward, as a shepherd, because you know it's all one intelligence at play with itself, rather than as the contracted person trying to extract from it. All right. So the three divine toys. Let's start with this is that. What do we mean? We mean this is the absolute. I remember initially watching Tony Parsons and Jim Newman and just the perpetuation of the idea of what Papaji and so many others in the Neo-Advaita tradition, Ramana Maharshi, just saying there's no steps to freedom. This is already freedom. This is the absolute already. And when I was at the Shift into Permanent Alignment with Bentinho Massaro and team in Costa Rica, I remember talking to him about the absolute being right here as well, and him saying, this is that, right? So this is the highest. This is the absolute. There's no higher than this. This is the highest. This is the absolute. Appearing. This is source, emptiness, nothingness, appearing as one possibility of a manifestation in the eternal space of infinite possibility. And so this is an important divine toy to play with because it is simply calling people's attention to the fact that still your mind enough to recognize that simply this present moment, right here, the entire universe, the entire civilization, you, exactly as you are perfect. All of life is the absolute. All of life is already freedom. It's a announcement of freedom. It's a manifestation of absolute freedom. So the first divine toy is this is that. The second divine toy is I make awareness and realities. I make awareness and realities. So what we're asking you to do with I make awareness and realities is to practice shifting your identity from being a person to being the Big Bang. Imagine you are the Big Bang with a pair of eyeballs, and you create the manifestation of the universe, and then now you're seeing your created manifestation through these 8 billion units, mind, body, spirit complexes, humans, and you're seeing it from these 8 billion different perspectives, angles. So the entire creation itself appears within the mind body-spirit complex, within the very awareness. So the very personal awarenesses have their own idea of what creation is, and then those are all located on God's Jumbotron. And that's what's called the all-inclusive awareness. So the very subject itself has their own universe, their own interpretation, appearing and disappearing every single second. And then 8 billion of those universes appearing and disappearing every single second on God's Jumbotron. We're getting into some of the nuanced details of the macro level representation of how it works, but you have to understand that you are that which gives birth to God. You give birth to the all-inclusive awareness that is then experiencing the creation that you made. So you have to go to being the very awareness and reality that is the source of that. Be the very source of the awareness and reality. Be the very Big Bang. Shift your identity to being the very Big Bang, the very source of the awareness and reality. Be the creationary force itself. This divine toy, I make awareness and realities, is also an easy way to become both nothingness and infinity. So when you say, I make awareness and realities, what you say when you say I is you're referring to the very emptiness or the very source that gives birth to the creation itself. It gives birth to infinite creation, and this is one appearance, one manifestation, one representation, one divine play or exploration. And then when you say, I make awareness and realities, what you're saying is, I make infinite creation. So you are both the very nothingness that manifests this first attribute of awareness and all of the realities that it witnesses. Become aware that the awareness itself that you create is like the first attribute on the event horizon of the black hole of source. And that's where we'll also lead to number 3 as well, the Neti-Neti approach to source. So this number 2 divine toy is the I make awareness and realities. And the number 3, the Neti-Neti to source, is basically starting in the person. And you start in the person, and the Neti-Neti means not this, not that. And you start with this negation process of, okay, I am not a person, I'm not my name, I'm not my body, I'm not my thoughts, sensations, perceptions. Okay, well, what am I then? Okay, I'm the awareness. I'm the subject. I'm the very formless witness. And then that is shared among all humans. Okay. And then you say, I'm not even the awareness. I'm not even the great inclusive I am. I'm not even God. That's witnessing its own creation at play with itself. I'm the emptiness, the source that gives rise to the infinite creation. And so when you do this process, the Neti-Neti to source, what's happening is you are negating the person in order for you to upgrade your lenses so that you can upgrade from the person lens, the illusion, the contraction, to the lens of awareness, and then to the lens of the source. And then you can more easily navigate between the second and third divine toy. Because, again, the third divine toy is the process of negation, Neti-Neti to source. So it's from going from what is most downstream to what is most upstream. Just look in your very pupil for the answer. If you go far enough in your own pupil, you will reach emptiness. And that is the same emptiness in all human pupils. So the very same first attribute of awareness is in all of the human pupils. And then if you transcend even that all-inclusive awareness across all humans, that's when you commune with the very emptiness in which all arises and all disappears. Moment to moment, arise, disappear, arise, disappear, arise, disappear. Sharpie, arise, disappeared. Hand on the forehead, arise, disappear. Phone, arise, disappear. Glass of water, arise, disappear. The very visual of the glass of water arising, that data coming in, source comprehending that data, and now source no longer comprehends that data. That's how you can think about it. Source comprehending a Sharpie, and it no longer comprehending a Sharpie. Source comprehending a pillow, no longer comprehending a pillow. Source comprehending a computer, no longer comprehending a computer. Comprehending different things moment to moment. 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 I love coming up with these little tunes. Just Source loves coming up with these through this incarnation. It's such a funny way of expressing itself. That's what it is. Comprehending Sharpie, moment to moment, gone. Comprehending pillow, moment to moment, gone. So when you begin sort of seeing the very black hole, source, emptiness, and on the event horizon is awareness. So awareness is the first attribute on the event horizon of the black hole of emptiness. That is the intelligent infinity that creates and comprehends everything. And that when you shift from the person identity to awareness, you shift to what is more formless and towards what is more subtle, towards the subject. So when you make that shift, you shift from the physicalism, which does not exist. The physicalism is a dream. Even the awareness is a dream, but it's closer to what is real. What is most real is the nothingness or the emptiness that everything arises and then disappears into. So the awareness is the first attribute. It's on the event horizon. And so if you get really, really, really subtle, you can recognize that there is both that one God self, and even the one God self is an intoxicative illusion. So the truth is that there is no self. The truth is that there is only emptiness dancing, emptiness appearing. This is the absolute. And you can take many different ways to get there. These 3 divine toys will be helpful for you to meditate on, Take these concepts, these symbols, these ideas, and whatever resonates with you, meditate on it, use it, see it everywhere you look. Everywhere you look on your day-to-day, if the first divine toy of this is that resonates, then use it. When you are sitting in the sunlight, recognize that you sitting in the sunlight is the absolute sitting in the sunlight. I am the absolute sitting in my own sunlight. Cool. Then you're at the grocery store buying a coconut water. And then you're like, I am the absolute buying a coconut water from the absolute appearing as a grocery store that has coconut water for me to purchase. Now, as I walk out of the grocery store, I am the absolute drinking my own creation of coconut water. Okay, cool. You see how simple it is. The first divine toy is literally telling more and more people that this is the absolute. Right now is the absolute. The very present, the eternal present, is the absolute. You are that which creates the witnessing of infinite creation. So every single this is the absolute. There's no such thing as not being the absolute. There's no such thing as not being the absolute. It's all always the absolute. The only distortions and delusions that exist are when a person thinks they are separate from the absolute, which is the way that the mainstream indoctrinated, nonsensical, matrixy bullshit culture baptizes people. And it tells them that the absolute is separate from you. And then you become a slave in the corporate economic machinery. And it's our own creation, but liberate yourself from that as soon as possible. Recognize that the whole point of this distillation and dissemination is to liberate and awaken the creation from its delusional, intoxicative, matrixy infrastructures. We created those infrastructures as an asleepment mechanism for us to liberate ourselves from and to recognize our true nature. Everything is always the absolute, and yet it's a big game of identity. Your own algorithmic scripted perpetuation of I am a finite separate person and I am not the absolute is a distortion that you are unfreezing your will and choice and sovereignty to wake up from. And hopefully content like this helps. So the 3 divine toys, this is that. It's the most simple and easy, and it's very neo-Advaita. It's very the direct path. It's very mom can get this, you know? Mom and grandma, family, they can get this one. It's that simple. Your coworkers, when you tell them that this is the absolute, this is God playing with itself. This is all God playing with itself. This is all the absolute experiencing itself. When you communicate that to people, they'll get it. Many people will get it because it's that simple, right? Now, if you try and get them to understand that they are the source of awareness and realities, or to teach them how to Neti-Neti to source, the second and third divine toy, it's a little bit less likely that those will land. A lot less likely. But over time, more and more people will become interested in mysticism, in yoga, in union with the absolute, in shifting their identity from the contracted personhood towards being God, towards being the very source of awareness and realities. And so that's the second divine toy, is reflect and meditate on you being the very source, the very emptiness of awareness and of infinite creation. Infinite creation arising and passing in your awareness. Infinite creation arising and passing in your awareness. Infinite creation arising and passing in your awareness. And that is on the event horizon of the source, of the emptiness. It is the very sourceful emptiness, awareness, no self that is the very witness, observer of the infinite creation. We create the witnessing of infinite creation. I am that which creates the witnessing of infinite creation. I am that which creates the witnessing of infinite creation. I am that which creates the witnessing of infinite creation. I am that which creates the witnessing of infinite creation. I make awareness and realities. I am that which creates the witnessing of infinite creation. I make awareness and realities. Cool. So that's the second divine toy. And the third divine toy is the Neti-Neti to source. So you practice negating. We have a video on our channel called Neti-Neti Meditation, where I go through a process of an hour-long, slow-paced, guided meditation of the Neti-Neti that then enables you to commune with your truest nature. The most unchanging. It's the only true real is that which does not change. The very emptiness does not change. The very source does not change. The very awareness itself does not change. The only thing that changes is all of the impermanent infinite creation. So watch that video on the channel, the Neti-Neti Meditation, and leverage that as a divine toy to move you further from the person identity to say that you're not the person identity and you're not its mind and body and name and thoughts, perceptions, sensations, and you're not even the awareness in which it happens. You are the very source. You are the very emptiness that has awareness as the very first attribute that watches and witnesses infinite creation. Leverage these three divine toys and you will become more and more of a Gnostic being. You will become more actualized. You will have experientially realized your true nature in your heart many ways. And when you do that, you awaken, and then you get to share that awakening. You get to share freedom. You get to share bliss. You get to share peace. You get to share divinity. You become the absolute that you already were, but you become it. And when you become the absolute, when you recognize yourself as the absolute, you then become a better steward, a better shepherd for the creation awakening, rather than being a contracted person identity trying to extract peace and happiness from it. So leverage these divine toys in your meditations, leverage them in your day-to-day, leverage them as reflections, leverage them and become more and more awake to your true nature and share that in awakening our creation. Awesome. And again, shout out to Felix Pinar. That was a great conversation between us on the show. I highly recommend watching that conversation as well. That's all. Infinite gratitude and unity. Thank you.